Good morning, Greer family. Today you're getting to see a future glimpse of your principal, Mrs. Gregory. And today is day 3 of our virtual Spirit Week, and we are celebrating senior citizens today. All of the love that we have for our grandparents around the community. And the reason that we're doing this is because we are really trying to showcase the importance of taking care of our most special generation here. This virus that's been going around puts our grandparents at higher risk for contracting it. And so we all need to be showing our love by doing our best to make sure that we're socially distancing, we're staying away from people, we're washing our hands frequently, and we're not going places that we don't need to go. So today, to celebrate this, I'm going to be reading a special story called Grandpa's Teeth. Now, I can't talk like that the whole time, so I'm going to read it in my regular voice right now, but I'm super excited to see all the rest of you that have been dressing up today. I've already received some pictures. They're going to be hilarious, so we will be posting them soon. If you are taking the time today to dress up to celebrate our senior citizens, make sure that you drop that in the comments on our original post that just went up a few minutes ago. All right, so in the meantime, here we go with the story. This is called Grandpa's Teeth, and it's by Clement. And my blurb on the back says, Grandpa's teeth, handmade by the finest Swiss craftsmen, are gone, stolen from his bedside table. Grandpa suspects anyone who doesn't smile widely enough to prove that their teeth are their own. Soon, everyone in town is smiling all the time, and their ghastly grins are frightening the tourists away. Can the culprit be caught before the whole town cracks up? Popular Australian cartoonist Rod Clement, illustrator of Edward the Emu and Edwina the Emu by Sheena Knowles, has created a rollicking whodunit with a surprise ending that will have readers grinning from ear to ear. All right, so here we go. Grandpa's Teeth. Help! I've been robbed, we heard Grandpa shouting. It's a disaster! Come quickly! He was still shouting as Mom, Agatha, and I ran up the stairs. Grandpa's room was a mess, but to be honest, it always was a mess. He blamed Gump, his old dog, but Gump looked too old to me to make much of a mess. What was taken? Gasped Mom. Your VCR? Your television? Oh, not your gold-plated golfing trophy. No, said Grandpa, it's much more serious. It's my teeth. They've been stolen. Grandpa normally kept his teeth in a glass of water by their bed. The glass was still there, but the teeth were missing. You haven't swallowed them by mistake, have you? Asked Mom. Of course not, replied Grandpa. Those teeth were special, handmade by the finest Swiss craftsmen. Agatha looked at Mom and whispered, Why is Grandpa talking funny? You see how serious it is, moaned Grandpa. I may never speak the same again. Are you sure you've looked everywhere? Asked Mom. Under the bed, behind the cabinet, in all the drawers? Yes, replied Grandpa with tears in his eyes. I've looked everywhere. Mom called the police. Officer Rate looked grave. Well, we've done a thorough search of the room and house, but we've found nothing at all. No teeth, no clues. Everyone was at home at the time of the theft, so how the thief got in and out without being seen is a mystery. Can you give us a description of the stolen articles, Mr. Pertwhistle? Grandpa frowned, rubbed his chin, then looked closely at the officer. Could you smile, please? He asked. Smile? Yes, a nice big smile. Officer Rate grinned sheepishly. No, shouted Grandpa angrily. I mean really smile. Officer Rate smiled broadly. Grandpa leaned forward, tapped the officer's teeth with his finger, and growled suspiciously. They look just like those. Officer Rate looked shocked. I've had these for years. Officer Rate took us all down to the station for further investigation. Using Grandpa's description, the police artist drew a picture of the missing teeth. They put up our wanted poster with all the others. We made copies and put them up all over town. Officer Rate rounded up the usual suspects and took them in for questioning. All of them were asked to smile. Most of them had missing teeth as well, but just one or two, not the whole set. They even brought in our unfriendly neighbor, Mrs. Carbuncle, because her own teeth didn't fit. But Grandpa didn't recognize her or the teeth in the police lineup. "I've never seen her smile before," he explained to Officer Rate. There's Mrs. Carbuncle. After several days, Officer Rate had to admit that no teeth had been found, no thief had been caught, and no new clues had been uncovered. Grandpa suspected everyone, especially anyone who didn't smile. Soon the whole town was smiling at him, although he never smiled back. He had nothing to smile with. Mom even got a call from one of those TV shows, Unsolved Crimes. They came to the house in a helicopter. We had to reenact the whole thing. When Grandpa was interviewed, he asked the reporter, Pearl White, if he could borrow some of her teeth. "After all," he mumbled, "you have more than enough." Dad called Switzerland to find out how much a new set of teeth would cost. He was so shocked when he found out that he dropped the phone. "The only way we could ever afford it," he joked to Mom, "is to sell the house." Grandpa thought this was a great idea. "Who needs a house anyway?" he moaned. "It doesn't help you chew your food." To cheer him up, we all took Grandpa to the amusement park. It was a disaster. He took one look at the front entrance and burst into tears. Everyone watched Unsolved Crimes, but no one called Officer Rate, and the crime remained unsolved. Some spare teeth were left in the mailbox, but none of them fit properly. People began locking their doors at night, imagining a teeth thief loose on the streets. No one knew who would be next, so fear gripped the town. The thief had to be caught, and soon. It seemed that the only way to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the teeth in your mouth were your own was to smile broadly at every person you met. Anyone who didn't smile was immediately dragged off to the police station for more questions and a chat with Officer Rate. So everyone began smiling at everyone else, all the time, everywhere, even at funerals. Because of Grandpa's teeth, the whole town was beginning to suffer. Tourists, seeing the endless sea of smiling faces, were too scared to get out of their cars. After a while, they stopped coming altogether. Dad's cafe, like the rest of the town, was losing business. The mayor called an emergency meeting. That night, for the first time that anyone could remember, the town hall was full. Speaker after speaker stood up to complain about the loss of customers and the constant strain of smiling all day, every day. Pastor Butter summed up the situation. "While I've always considered this a happy town, there are limits. No one wants to smile without a reason, and there aren't many reasons to smile in this town at the moment. It's time, I believe, to put a stop to it." The crowd cheered. Mr. Pertwhistle had one of the finest sets of teeth in the country, and he alone could not afford to replace them. In fact, I alone could not afford to replace them either. But if every one of us put $1 in the collection plate tonight, we would have enough money to buy 2 new sets of teeth. Most people put in $1, others put in 2. At the presentation ceremony, Grandpa opened the package and revealed 2 sets of brand new teeth. "Why are they different sizes?" asked the mayor. "Oh, only one of them is for me," replied Grandpa, popping one of the sets into his mouth. "The other one is for Mrs. Carbuncle. Her teeth never fit properly, and she has such a pretty smile."
Grandpa was very happy with his new teeth. So was Mrs. Carbuncle. They smiled all the time. In fact, they were so happy that Grandpa's old dog, Gump, smiled too. For the first time ever. So who was the thief of the teeth? Who did it end up being? It was not a suspect that we would have thought in the very beginning, right? But our minds were changed at the very end, and it turns out that it was Gump who took the teeth the whole time. So one of the things, though, that this story that I connected with right now was this page here. So they asked everybody in the community to just chip in and help out, right? They all gave $1, some gave $2 so that they could help with making sure that he got his teeth back. And that's a little bit like what we're doing today in our community, because we are needing to help out our senior citizens. And the best way that we can do that, we don't have to give $1 or $2. It's actually super easy and free. All they're asking for us to do is to make sure that we are social distancing ourselves. We're not going outside and playing with friends and going and hanging out with people. We're not spreading germs or picking up germs. We're making sure that we keep our senior citizens safe and healthy, just like this community here had to do when they all decided to chip in and do something kind for their senior citizen. And so I want you to remember this story and remember what's important about right now, which is making sure that we show love to our community by staying put, washing our hands, not spreading germs. Okay, these are all of the ways for free that you can also be helping. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day today. We're going to be adding more videos, so make sure you check out YouTube. Mr. Y just posted some really cool workouts that he's been doing and he wants to share with you. And we have a lot of our teachers that have been reading stories that we've uploaded to the Greer Staff Read Alouds channel on YouTube on our playlist. So I want you guys to have a great day, wash hands, stay inside, hang out with your family, and have fun. All right, we'll talk with you soon. Bye.